get some insights on the news shaping the markets. For that, we welcome in Stephen E. Orr, CEO at Quasar Markets. Good to see you. How are you feeling these days?
Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
About the market? Yeah, great, thanks. Tell me about the market, some of your thoughts.
Absolutely. You know, one thing we've been seeing in the markets here has been a whipsaw, and I think a lot of it has to do with political right now. You're watching two presidents that are looking to fight each other out, and right now I think the words on the market has been changed because of what Powell is saying. In the past, he's been talking about inflation, he's been talking about all the things of the dual mandate, but he changed his tune yesterday, and he said labor. He is watching the labor markets, and we are seeing we're seeing a softening in the labor markets that a lot of people don't want to see. In the past, we've been talking about tech, but you're seeing Intel losing lots of jobs, and it's been pretty rough out there. And so right now, the markets really don't know what to do. We're seeing the VIX up a little bit here, but in the spirit of the Olympics, honestly, it's been gold. Gold has been pushing higher. We're looking at higher levels, I think, even next week and possibly even the week after, as we really don't know what's going on. Shaping the markets right now is still tech. When you're looking at tech, Jenny just talked about it, right? Meta showed a really good numbers. Llama coming out. AI is still the key here in the factor. And right now, I still think that it is tech. You saw NVIDIA whipsaw again. You saw Morgan Stanley saying, hey, this is still the best pick, and the selling is overdone. And it pops 13% the next day. A little profit taking here, but NVIDIA still should push higher.
Yeah, we talk about the dual mandate, and the focus really has been inflation. But to your point, now labor seems to have taken the front and center spot, and the concern of risk to the downside, to your point. Tell me about the yield curve. You're watching that as well.
Yeah, I think anybody that's in the markets right now, they need to be keeping their eye clearly on the 10-year and now the 3-month. That curve is very interesting. That is a key to a recession. And right now it is showing a 70% chance of a recession. I hate that R word, but the truth of the matter is it might be coming. And it's scaring Powell a little bit. So they are keeping their eye. And the 10-year today slipped below 4%. It's been a long time since I've done that. And as I watch the 10-year, you also have to watch the 30-year too, because what you're seeing also is as those rates have been coming down, the housing market, for the first time in a while now, you're actually seeing buyers stepping right back into the market, buying those homes up, and it's becoming a seller and a buyer market. Kind of interesting. There's actually a balance, which we haven't seen. It has been a seller's market for a long time. Buyers were nervous, but now the buyers seem to be stepping back in, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, and he said, Powell said, if everything stays exactly the way it is, then they'll be cutting in September. So whether it's a slowing economy, I mean, he did notice that inflation had eased substantially. You know, that was over the past year, let's say. You know, things are going in the right direction. So I guess if everything stays exactly the way it is, but I guess there's a lot of wild cards. That being said, you're also watching elections in November. How does that affect investors?
I'll tell you one place, Nicole, it's definitely affecting the investors, and I just got back from Nashville in the Bitcoin conference. Trump is really pushing the gas pedal here on Bitcoin. He is saying that he loves it. He's going to buy a lot of it for the government. That's a definite win if Trump wins the election. Kamala Harris is trying to keep up with that, but the truth of the matter is they don't have the same policies as they do. I will say that you won't see Powell being chairman of the Fed if either one of them gets elected. I think that's a difference. So I think we need to keep our eye on other members of the Fed. And so because of that, I think if Kamala wins, you got to look at electric vehicles again. You have to look at education. You have to look at little places that we don't expect. I would also say if Trump wins, that expect mergers and acquisitions to be very, very hot. This administration has been a damper on those mergers and acquisitions with Lena Khan, the head of the FTC, and because of that, the next section is airlines. I think you're going to see a lot of places where mergers and acquisitions will be super hot if Trump wins the election.
Yeah, I actually saw some calls for her to be replaced even today. I saw some articles about that. Tell me about the airline industry. You're watching a couple of the lower end. You know, Delta was always the darling, right? Some of these international footprint. You're looking at some of the other names. Tell me, do you feel like they're takeover targets or maybe some deals could be made?
Yeah, you're very right. I mean, look at the Delta. They gave us good surprise earnings. It shocked a lot of people. Didn't shock me because you know what? Those of us who travel quite a bit, we are seeing so many people at the airports right now and fees out there. But I will say this much. There were two airlines that are really interesting to me is JetBlue, Southwest, obviously one more. But the big one here is for me is Spirit Airlines. They have seen their stock fall quite a bit over the last few years as of course, Lena Khan, the FTC chair, quashed the merger between them and JetBlue. But I think right now, you know, when you see this dip like this, I like this. And here's the key to looking at SAFE. I think the two things are happening is they are listening to the American public. They're saying no more cattle cars. They're saying, hey, let's start to give the user and the person that's trying to buy that airplane ticket, give them choice. Let them sit where they want to sit and pay that. We're seeing Spirit doing bundling now, which is very, very good. And we're also seeing JetBlue listening. And I think JetBlue needs those regional airlines. And when you have small airlines like Allegiant and Spirit, they're easy takeover targets because they have smaller routes. And you have bigger airlines that need those smaller routes, maybe to move people around a little faster. I think you're going to see that mergers, acquisitions happening very quickly.
So SAVE for you is a pick, because that seems like a takeover target. So that would be a pick that you would hold. Maybe some action will happen there. For Southwest Airlines and JetBlue, are you holding, would you say to hold those as well for the same reason?
Yeah, you know, I've got a dear friend of mine. He's a pilot at Southwest, and he's excited because, quite frankly, he sees the excitement coming back into the people wanting to be able to pick their own seat. You know, when you have a rush, you always seem to be, as a traveler, we're not always sure that we're hitting the right seat or sitting right to the right person. We want to sit next to our family, right? And so when you see those kind of changes at the higher level to the lower level, where they're listening to the Main Street people, I think you're going to see a lot of bullishness out of that. And I really do like JetBlue. I really like Spirit. And I tell you what, Southwest is coming out of their problems here.
All right, Stephen Orr, great to see you. Thank you so much. CEO at Quasar Markets, Stephen Orr. Thank you.